Well, good afternoon, everybody, from an absolutely dull, wrong side of the Pennines. What's going on in your world? I'm back talking about Leeds. I hope you enjoyed our little, maybe pre-planned, pre-thought out debate last night between me and Gabe. Let us know in the comment section below what you thought of that. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. As you can probably tell with me smiling. But yeah, no, I thought to myself I'd give myself the wrong hand of trying to support Joseph and Nonto when they're both getting a lot of flack at the minute. I thought, look, let's get Gabe on the right side of things. So obviously he was backing up Peru and Aronson. So it was great to see that. You guys thoroughly enjoyed it, and let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for that. And that was sort of the first edition of what we thought would be a good idea every Sunday. That's when Gabe can do. Obviously with him being in a completely different time zone to me. So if you enjoyed that, slap a like on that video. Let us know what you think. But ultimately, big period for the Whites now. And I think I'm nervous, you know. I mean, I mentioned this previously, that going into these last 15 games, the nerves are starting to build a little bit. But I've just gone and done a podcast on Betfred. And it's interesting. It's interesting, the feeling. The Sheffield United fans are definitely worried about what's going on at the minute. They're obviously playing up against Borough at home, which isn't going to be easy for them, especially after the little wobble they've had against some of the poorer teams in the division. But at the same time, we have Burnley at home. Sunderland have a chance to refresh down at Luton, and Leeds have a big opportunity to really put their marker down against Watford, really. And right now, with the form Leeds are in the league in particular, even though Sheffield United have won the 5 out of the last 6, with the way they're performing, I feel like there is a genuine opportunity for Leeds to go down and really hurt Sheffield United at Bramall Lane. And this period will obviously start with Leeds United winning the Coventry game, which we're all maybe a little bit nervous for. Lampard, etc. Matt Grimes returning. But then ultimately Watford as well, which is always one of those games you guys can probably tell. It's Watford, QPR, those two in particular. I just hate these games. Away from home, at home I'm absolutely fine with Leeds United, but it's these two away games that, as a football fan of Leeds United, I've never been a fan of, ever. Because we've just not got the greatest history down there. So it's going to be fascinating to see what happens. Chad Vatadze, we're talking about on the podcast today. We're also talking about Loser in the midfield as well, who's come back, Imran Loser, and looks absolutely unbelievable in that Watford midfield. You've got Kiembe still there or thereabouts. Just athleticism with quality in that midfield. So against the team, which, bearing in mind, does have a very decent home record overall. I think the home record's like 4th or 5th in the division. It's going to be a tough game for the Whites, and it is 100% a potential banana skin. It really is. But we have come through this before. You know, Coventry had won 4 on the bounce before playing the Whites, and we got rid of them pretty easily. I'm just hoping, and maybe it's a little bit of nerves that are playing in, that we're not going to let this Millwall game, albeit us making 5 changes, I'm just hoping that this Millwall game isn't going to impact the lads, because we know it can happen even when you do make changes. I'm hoping that there's still and I'm sure there is, it'll be cultivated across the season, but I'm hoping the lads are still confident and they're ready and they're excited ultimately for this game. So I think when you're excited and you're in a promotion race for games coming up, that's when you're most dangerous. So as I've said, tomorrow is going to be a tough game, and we're the first up, which is interesting. Leeds have got Watford, and then you've got Burnley, Sunderland and Sheffield United all playing on Wednesday. So is that an advantage? Is it a disadvantage? You know, that's a conversation to be had, isn't it? But overall, I am confident still. I still think we've got enough quality to dispatch of Watford. We shouldn't have any excuses. They've played more recently all the way up in the northeast of Sunderland. They've obviously not made any changes. They've been out the cup. So we've had favourable rest, albeit some of our players playing 15, 20 minutes in that game against Millwall, the loss at Millwall. But Leeds have got, it's a massive game tomorrow night, because if we win, the pressure's huge. The pressure's then huge on the other 3. I think the team that's probably playing with that a little, with sort of maybe a little pressure at the minute, is probably Burnley. And I think it's just maybe people aren't really talking about Burnley as much, I don't think anyway. I still think people are taking them quite lightly. You know, Sheffield United, Sunderland and Leeds United appear to be the conversation on everybody's lips, but that Burnley are still a big problem. They're still a massive problem in that, and they can still win the league, let's be honest. With that defensive record, of which saw them beat Southampton, the Premier League side, albeit it won't be next season, but they beat them 1-0 again with another defensive masterclass from Burnley, and something of which we were all maybe a little bit nervy of, and which I called on the channel not long ago. Marcus Edwards is potentially going to turn those 0-0s into 1-0s, which is a little bit of a worry. But yeah, so not massively like nervy about it and nervy about proceedings going forward, but definitely a little bit cautious. And maybe it's the loss against Millwall that's done that. Maybe it's the fact that going into that game now we're off the back of a loss, which is unusual for the club. Obviously one loss in about 15, I think it was. 6 clean sheets on the bounce, but Leeds are still the informed team in the division. Leeds still the best team in the division. Those facts haven't changed. We've still got the most depth. You're going to see Firpo coming and starting, which, to be honest, I thought Leeds were miles better when Firpo came onto the pitch at the weekend. You know, you're going to see Solomon starting the game. I thought when Solomon came on, he looked bright against Millwall. You're going to see Peru coming back in. You're going to see Aronson back in, Bogle back in, Rodon and Strauch as a partnership back in, Melier back in. So overall, Tanaka, and I think he might go Gruev, you know. I've got a feeling he might go Gruev for this one. So overall, it's a game of which I think is going to be decided in midfield. Leeds are making these whole host of changes that we know is going to happen, but for me it's a midfield game. Chad Fatadze is for me the best ball carrier in the division from that midfield space. I think he's exceptional. Shout out to Joe Rothwell as well, by the way, who in that central space is definitely one of the most underrated ball carriers in that midfield. But yeah, it's going to be a real task pinning that Watford midfield down for me. But if we're able to do that, Leeds will win the game. They've got to be more fearful of us. I think when we went to Watford last time, we were a little bit more fearful of them, and they started to put their game plan on us. If Leeds are to go there and win tomorrow, it's massive. It's massive, because then we go straight into, like, these were supposed to be our two sort of tough away games. Banana slips, banana skin. I keep saying slips. If Leeds are able to go win these two, gives us a little bit of a cushion, doesn't it? But we still do have to go into that Sunderland and Sheffield United game for me with confidence, momentum. I still think Sunderland, with potentially Joe Bellingham back. I'm not sure if Mundell's going to be back. You know, the front line is dangerous. It's a dangerous team, and I think they could potentially be the trickiest customer at the minute. I don't think that's an outrageous thing to say. I don't think Sheffield United are clicking at the minute. You know, they've played Derby, they've played Hull, they've played Portsmouth, and it's been a struggle for them. But Sunderland have played, and they still look decent. They should have won the game at the end against Watford. And this is my tram. But yeah, excited everyone. I think Sunderland are the better team at the minute. Burnley are the dangerous ones. Sheffield United need to regain that form. But Leeds have a massive opportunity to stake the claim, and it's a huge week. Watford, Burnley, back for the debrief tonight, everybody, with myself, Darren, and Oscar. Tune in. See you tonight.